I took care of our mother while my sister had fun. Then she got everything. Dad died when I was 12. He just didn't wake up one morning. No pain, no warnings, no goodbyes. One night he fell asleep and everything ended. And we woke up in a different world. Before that, we were a normal family. Me, Christina, Mom, and him. Dad never treated us differently. If he bought one doll, he bought a second to match. If he brought chocolate, it was 2 identical bars. He called us the girls, always together. Back then, I didn't know how rare that was. I thought that's how it was for everyone, that parents loved equally, always. But after he was gone, everything started shifting. Not all at once, it was slow, drip by drip. At first, Mom got quieter, then more tired, then more distant. Christina and I both grieved, each in our own way. I cried into my pillow, bottled things up, tried not to be a burden. Christina got louder. She acted out, talked back, ran too fast like silence scared her. But Mom broke in a different way. She tried to hold it together for us. She kept cooking, pretending everything was fine. But at night, we heard her crying in the bathroom. And in the morning, she'd smile and say, "Your dad had a light heart. He wouldn't want you to be sad." She tried to give us warmth while she was falling apart inside. And after Dad was gone, money became tight. He had provided for all of us. Now it was just Mom. She picked up sewing work, cleaned people's homes, did whatever she could. That's when it began, that tiny shift, that just a little more attention toward Christina. At first, maybe because she seemed more fragile. But later, I think it was because she reminded Mom of Dad. The way she smiled, the same eyes, even the way she joked. Mom would light up like she hadn't in months, like something had returned. And I understood. I really did. But that didn't make it hurt less. Christina was 10. She started skipping school, getting into trouble, hanging with the wrong people. Mom would yell, but then hug her right after. She'd whisper, "You're just missing your dad. I get it." And the one time I said, "I miss him too," Mom just sighed and said, "Well, you're strong." And there it was. I was the strong one. She was the broken one. I was the helper. She was the lost child. Everything after that was built on that dynamic. I grew up fast, not because I wanted to, but because I had to. When you don't have a safety net, you learn to walk the line. By 16, I was working part-time. By 18, paying for college. By 21, living on my own. And all that time, I was helping Mom. Sometimes with money, sometimes just running errands, sometimes just being there. It wasn't a burden, it was my life. No one asked me, I just did it. Christina disappeared. Spain, Bali, some island I can't remember, beach photos, cocktails, quotes like, "You only live once." She wasn't cruel, she was just gone. When Mom got sick, I was already working full-time. Not rich, not struggling, stable. I didn't quit my job, I just adjusted. Worked remote when I could. Took calls from clinics, answered emails between hospital visits. It became my new rhythm: buy medicine, book appointments, wash bedding, talk to doctors, file bills, repeat. I never thought about the house, never thought about the future, never thought, what do I get out of this? Because someone had to do it. Sometimes I'd message Christina, "Mom's not doing well. She's asking about you." She'd reply, "Can't make it right now, maybe later." 12 years passed, and then one evening, she showed up at my door, smiling, tanned, designer luggage in hand, lip gloss perfect. "Hey sis," she said, as if we'd just seen each other last week. I didn't say anything, not out of anger, but because I honestly didn't know what to feel. Mom lit up, like someone had plugged her soul back in, eyes brighter, voice stronger, suddenly alive. She didn't forget after all, Mom beamed, and I felt something tighten inside me. I couldn't name it then, but I knew something was coming. I wasn't snooping, I wasn't digging, I was just looking for a utility bill. And that's when I found it, the will. At first I didn't understand what it was, just papers, legal language. And then I saw the name, Christina. Everything, the house, the land, even the tiny garage, was left to her. No split equally, no shared decision, just hers. I froze. Then I laughed. Not a funny laugh. That bitter, sharp, hollow kind. The kind you let out when you've carried too much for too long. I didn't confront them that night. I needed time to think, to cool down, to understand why. And a few days later, we were sitting in the kitchen, all three of us. I looked at Mom and asked, "Did you really leave the house to Christina?" She sighed, deep, like it hurt her to say it. And then she answered, "You don't even want to live here. You have your job, your own place. Christina, she needs it more. She's the younger one." I stared at her, not angry, not shocked, just hollow. I never asked for the house, never expected anything. But after 12 years of taking care of everything, I thought maybe, just maybe, I mattered enough to not be written out like I was never there. "What about me?" I asked. "Did I not need anything?" Mom looked at me and said, "You've always been strong, you've always managed." And that's when it hit me. I was still in the same role, the strong one, the responsible one, the one who never needed anything. And I was done. That night, I packed a bag and I left. I didn't slam the door. I didn't yell. I didn't make a scene. I just stepped out of that role. Chaos followed. Bills went unpaid, medicine ran out. The neighbor messaged me, "Something smells downstairs. I think your mom's fridge broke." I didn't answer, not out of revenge, not out of spite, but because silence was all I had left to give. Christina tried, at first. She called pharmacies, tried scheduling appointments, even cleaned the floors. But it wasn't care, it was punishment. She wasn't used to being needed on a schedule, only when she felt like it. One day she called me, "I can't do this. I didn't know it was like this." I didn't laugh, I just said, "Now you know." Then came the guilt, the frustration, the blame. "You left us," she shouted once. "You walked away like you're better." And I answered, "You were gone for 12 years, Christina. Now it's your turn." She fell silent. That silence, it said more than words. Mom was fading, not her body, her spirit. She was quieter, more distant, like the light behind her eyes was slowly dimming. One day when I did come back, just to check in, she looked at me and whispered, "I ruined everything, didn't I?" I didn't speak, because if I did, everything inside me would come pouring out, the pain, the years, the swallowed resentment. So instead, I wrapped a blanket around her shoulders, and we sat in silence. After that night, I didn't come back. Not to arguments, not to guilt, not to the role I had been stuck in for most of my life. Mom began to fade, not her body, but her spirit. She didn't ask for forgiveness, but there was something in her eyes I had never seen before. Stillness, sadness, maybe, understanding. Christina stayed with her for just over 2 months, and in that time she learned what it meant to be needed, not out of love, but out of responsibility. They argued. Christina snapped, cried, apologized, snapped again, and one day I realized this wasn't mine to fix. They had to live it, the two of them, not me. I came back only once. Mom had been taken to the hospital again. I walked into the room, saw her, small, fragile, nothing like the woman who raised me. And in that moment, I didn't see betrayal. I saw someone who simply couldn't handle it all. I didn't cry, I didn't yell, I just held her hand, in silence, until the very end. After the funeral, Christina left. The house, it's hers, by law, by choice, by signature. But I don't feel like I lost. I didn't get those 12 years back. I didn't get a thank you, not even an apology. But I got something else. I got myself back. And maybe that was what I was missing all along. And that's the end of this story. It's heartbreaking, really. Spending so many years without a personal life, giving so much, and not even receiving a thank you. That's hard. But maybe the mother, maybe she broke too after losing her husband. Maybe that explains some of it. In the end, a heavy, painful story. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.